Blocks of Wonderful podcast. This is episode 24, and this is my podcast to talk about crochet, knitting, yarn, and all the crafty good stuff. This is my Christmas episode, and you can tell it's my Christmas episode because I've got a glittery Christmas pudding in my hair and a glittery jumper and a Christmas tree as well. Christmas! Merry Christmas, everybody. This is really winging it, this episode, because I was planning on podcasting last week, but my eldest daughter, who is 11, came down really poorly and was off school for a couple of days, and that kind of put a spanner in the podcasting works. And everything's just been, I've been trying to catch up with everything since, basically. So I've just gathered everything around me. I have literally no notes whatsoever. And I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. There might be some vloggy bits, and if we don't have time to finish today, I might finish tomorrow. But hopefully we'll get through it. I'll definitely put some Christmassy sort of vloggy bits at the end. I'm actually waiting for the cooker repairman to turn up. It is Wednesday, and it is the 13th of December, which I'm hoping is not going to prove unlucky for me. But our heating element in our cooker has gone, so I'm waiting in for them, and they should be here any time in the next couple of hours. So chances are I'm going to have to stop midway. But let's see how we go. Timestamps for every section of stuff. That's such good English. Section of stuff that I'm going to talk about are all down below. And we're going to start off with a bit of strictly sock-along stuff. Then we're going to move on to works in progress, finished objects, incoming, general blethering, Christmas... I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It'll all be down below. Just have a look and you can jump to where you want. So I'm going to open my advent calendar. Me and Lilli of Nordic Stitches, oh, that fell in my tea almost, have been doing, we did an advent swap, which has been a bit of a disaster. Not anything from Lilli's side, but everything I've done for this swap has been a disaster. First of all, the parcel didn't arrive with Lilli. It took about 3 weeks to arrive. So she didn't get it until well into the first week of Advent. And then I've started opening all my beautiful Advent yarns. It forms one of my works in progress, which I shall show you in a minute. And realised that I haven't done a very good Advent calendar compared to hers. And the reason being is I don't have very much yarn. I don't have much of a stash. I've only been knitting and using hand-dyed yarn and 4-ply for just over a year. No, actually coming up about a year and a half. About a year and a half to 2 years. It keeps getting longer, doesn't it? 3 years, 5 years, 40 years. No, it's about a year and a half. So I don't really have a vast collection of stuff. So I was putting my advent calendar together with things that yarn that meant stuff to me, that I've used in special projects or that I love. But it doesn't really mean she can use it to make one sort of coherent Advent project. So I'm already planning next year's, Lilli. Just so you know, I've got the hang of it now. This newbie has got the hang of it. But I'm going to open number 13. This is the little tag, number 13. And see what we have got. She does these beautiful boxes. This is what they look like. Really pretty. No, I've already got stuff stuck on it just from taking it off. Viking yarns from Etsy. Blue fairy colour. That's my mini for day 13. And I've been putting it all into an advent shawl crochet one, which I'll show you in works in progress in a minute. Guess what else I got today? Sorry, I told you this is going to just be winging it, so I'm going to be jumping all over the place. The Christmas radio times! That means Christmas is officially here. I've been struggling to get into the Christmas spirit this year. Really struggling. I think possibly because it's been one of the busiest couple of months. I do, English is my first language, just in case you're wondering. By the way, I live in Kent in the UK, with my husband and my 2 young daughters. And I'm Starry Eyes Ali on Instagram. Where was I? Yes, over the past couple of months, it's been incredibly busy and stressful. My dad turned 70 and he had quite a lot of birthday celebrations, which involved travelling all around and a lot of preparation. Our youngest daughter turned 7 at the end of November, so there was parties and things to fit in for that. And yeah, it's just, there's been a lot of stuff getting on top of me. And I've not quite got into the Christmas spirit yet, but I'm hoping in the next week, with things calming down and the schools breaking up, that might happen. But today, when I went shopping this morning, I picked up the Christmas Radio Times, which is something that we get here in the UK. It's the TV guide, basically. And the Radio Times has been around for, I don't know, forever. And every Christmas they do like a 2-week like bumper double issue, and it's got all the Christmas television stuff, and it's got all special interviews and things, and it's really Christmassy. So I will enjoy going through that. Oh, the staples, a bit wiggly. Look. Anyway, I'll enjoy going through that later with a highlighter. I'm planning my TV viewing to go with my crochet and my knitting over the festive period. Yeah, so I got that this morning. Right, Strictly. Let's move on to Strictly. I promised you last time that I would not only draw the winners, for which I'm going to need my iPad, so I'll go and get that in a second. I'm going to draw the winners for the Made It to Blackpool section of the sock along. So for those that don't know, I am accidentally running a knit along, crochet along for making socks whilst watching Strictly Come Dancing, which is our Dancing with the Stars here in the UK. And I decided to offer a few different prize categories for that. The general rule is there is no rules. You're supposed to knit them whilst watching Strictly, but honestly, there's been some tremendous rule bending going on, which has been just so much fun to watch on Instagram and Ravelry and read about in the Ravelry group, and it's been brilliant. So I will be awarding a prize for exceptional rule bending. So I have got 5 prizes, 3 biggie ones and 2 little ones, and I have got currently 4 categories. So the categories are 10 from Len, and that's the one that I'm going to choose. I'm not going to do a random number generator for that one. I'm going to choose a person who's either made me laugh or been brilliant over the course of the knit along, and I'm going to choose that person myself for a prize. And then the other category is the Blackpool category. So everyone that had a finished pair of socks in the FO thread by midnight on the day that my last podcast aired, which I think was the 21st of November, are eligible to be drawn for a prize for the Made It to Blackpool. That means that you had a finished pair of socks ready for around the time of the Blackpool show, which is when all the contestants make it to the ballroom in Blackpool here in the UK. So on that day there was 15 posts in total, including my original one. So I'm going to do a random number generator for that one. And then I'm going to award a prize for exceptional rule bending as well. There'll be an overall knit along prize, which I will draw at random as well. And I may do an extra little prize and a little extra category as well. Oh, I thought it was snowing, but it's not, it's raining. So for the Blackpool prize, I am going to offer up, let me have a look, where are they? So if you made it to Blackpool, here we go. I have got a set of 5 stitch markers, and it's going to be really difficult to show you this. I need a knitting needle to put these on so that I can hold them up. Right. Like, ignore what I'm about. I'll tell you what, I'll show them to you on my Strictly socks. Ignore that you've seen these, pretend you haven't seen them. I'm just going to thread them onto my Strictly socks so I can show you what they look like. I've got 5 of these. You're not going to see 5 right now, but I promise you, I've got 5. I'm going to show you them all bunched up on my lovely Strictly socks, which is in salsa yarn from Lay Family Yarns. I hope that's focusing. I'm filming blind today. I can't see a thing. There's no mirror behind my camera, and I haven't even got my normal tripod. because I left it in my husband's car. So I'm actually on a selfie stick balanced in the handle of a basket. I'll take a picture to show you the lengths I go to. So those are the set of stitch markers that you can win, and I will put some other little bits in, of course, as well, if you have made it to Blackpool. So where's my iPad? I'm going to put in, oh, I've already done it, 2 to 15 for the random number generator. I hope you can see that. Press, ooh, no, I do not want to enable dictation. Generate. Ah, right, 7. Post number 7. Oh, hang on, I'll show you that. Post number 7. I do hope you can see what I'm showing you. So let's go to the Ravelry group. Post number 7. Where are you? Ah, Lorraine, it's you. Lollyball. She's Lollyball91 on Instagram, and she actually gave me some glitterball stitch markers, which I'll show you in a second with the other prizes. So Lorraine, you've won the 5 extra glittery stitch markers to go on your next knitting project, and I will put a few other little delights in your parcel for you too. And she finished in time for Blackpool her Halloween Strictly socks, and she says, yay, I finished my Halloween Strictly socks during take 2 last night, knitted solely watching Strictly, no rule bending. Lorraine, I am impressed. I'm so delighted with them. The pattern is called Cathedral Socks by Helena Fritz, and the gorgeous yarn is from Lay Family Yarn. Oh, this is perfect. We love Lay Family Yarn. Look at this. It was from a sock blank. Can you see? If you can't, go and have a look at the FO thread on the group, and you'll be able to see her lovely, lovely Halloween socks, and they are gorgeous. I might have to make that pattern, Lorraine, for my Christmas Eve cast on. Anyway, stitch markers for you. If you can get in touch with me via Instagram or Ravelry and give me your address. Although I think I might have your address already. Anyway, I will hunt you down and let you know that you've won the stitch markers. Congratulations. The other prizes I've got to come up, and I won't be drawing the other prizes until the new year, because I'm going to do that in my New Year episode, to give everyone who is bending the rules a chance to knit whilst watching on catch-up television or the Christmas special or anything like that. So you got until the end of the year to finish your socks. I've got 2 sock sets from Lay Family Yarn, whose yarn you've just seen featured in Lorraine's socks. These are Strictly themed, which she dyed at the beginning of the sock along, which was just incredible of her. And she sent 2 to me, 1 for me and 1 for a prize. So this is the Samba colourway, which I really hope you can see through the packet, but I don't want to take them out of the packet, and I want them all nice for when I send them. And this is the Argentine Tango colourway. And they both come with a mini of, or enough yarn for heels, toes, cuffs, and that grey glittery is called Glitterball. I can't decide which one I want, so I'm going to let whoever wins the sock set at the end choose, and I will keep the other one. So thank you very much for donating those, Kelly. Really, really appreciate that. I've got another 5 of those sparkly stitch markers too. I've got a dodgy bag to give away, and it's this one. I've got a few dodgy bags, but this is the least dodgy. I'm just going to adjust a little bit. It's quite difficult podcasting sitting on, well, I do hope you can still see me. Right, so this is the dodgy bag that I have made. It's got a little D-ring for putting stitch markers. It's definitely not snowing. It's definitely raining. And it's got purple organic cotton at the bottom, and this is a sort of thick cotton fabric here, and I've done a purple zip, and look, this is one of the Strictly Glitterball stitch markers that Lolly Ball has donated towards the prizes. I've got one of these on my Strictly socks, and they're really cool, so you get one of those on there as well. It's just lined with white, and I still need to stitch up the lining. It's hot off the sewing machine, this. The zip, I think, could have been longer, but I wanted to have a gap at either end like that. Can you see how there's a gap? Because it takes the bulk away here. I was just playing with techniques and trying to make my sewing less dodgy. So it does mean that although it's quite large, The opening's a bit smaller, but I mean, knitting's squidgy, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But yes, so that is another one of the prizes. I've got another prize on the way, which I'm not going to mention just in case, but it is quite exciting. And yes, that is it for now. So yeah, lots of exciting things to come. Sorry, keep moving around. Let's move on to works in progress. So, but I feel like I'm going at 150 miles an hour. And I also feel like I'm talking a bit like a children's television presenter. Like, yay, okay children, let's talk about the Strictly Soccer-along. So if I'm doing that, I'm very sorry. I think I might just be running on fumes a little bit. Let's move on to works in... No, let's not do that. No, works in progress first, then we'll do finished objects, because I really want to show you this thing down here by myself. I'm just throwing everything over there. Okay. Oh look, this is my 10 from Len paddle. Woo. I will use that when I draw the winner for the 10 from Len. I'll put it there so I don't forget. So I've got just untangle. So I'm just putting in my Advent mini from yesterday from Lilli into this shawl. I am making the granny, I think it's called the granny wrap, and it's a triangular granny shawl. Someone's at the door. I'm back. Okay, that was the oven repair guy, the guys, and they have been and they've gone and they've repaired the oven. The heating element had gone and they've put a new one in. So we've lost a bit of light because the rain that had started is now really a lot of rain, and it's gone very dark. So hopefully you can still see me. And I think we were about to share my granny wrap, which is a pattern, a free pattern on Annaboo House, on the Annaboo's House blog. She's Annaboo's House on Instagram as well. Her name's Sarah. And I met her at festival, but I didn't know it was her when I met her. So, yeah. So I couldn't do a fangirl thing because I had no idea it was her, even though I should have done. Anyway, I digress. So I'm using that pattern, which I think is for chunky or DK weight yarn, but I'm using it with my Advent minis, which so far are all 4-ply. And I'm just adding them as I get them. I'm doing them every day. So Lilli and I agreed to swap 5 grams every day, except for Sundays when we're swapping 10 grams. And on Christmas Day, the UK Christmas Day, which is 25th of December. I know, I know it's Christmas Day everywhere, but in Norway, where Lilli is, they celebrate on Christmas Eve. So, but on Christmas Day, we're swapping 50 grams. So I am putting all of my minis into my wrap. I'm currently putting in yesterday's because I was working yesterday, so I didn't do it then. And this is how it's looking, which I think you agree is looking mighty pretty. And she's put a stitch marker in each of the Sunday ones, and I've attached that to the yarn. So the first Sunday she put in this little butterfly, and then on the Sunday just gone she put in this gorgeous, oh I love this gorgeous little pine cone. Hope you can see it. Yeah, so that is, so today's the 13th and I've got basically two more minis to go. So it's growing, and I've got another 11 minis, and then there'll be the 50 grams as well. So if I need to add any more, I've got plenty of little French Meadow minis from my mini scheme club that I'm a member of. So, but I am loving how this is looking. It's a very indulgent, happy, easy project, and I might make another one in the new year. Yeah, so absolutely love this, and thank you Lilli for my gorgeous advent calendar. And yeah, let's do it next year. Might do a couple next year because honestly it's so much fun. My next work in progress is something that's only been in progress for a few days, but I decided to make, well, my husband's been asking me to make him a hat for a long time, so I decided to make him the sock head hat, and we couldn't find any yarn with the colours that he fancied, so I dyed some. And now I think this looks a bit camouflagey, but he likes it. So the yarn I'm using is just opal yarn, which I hand dyed, and it's got blues and browns and greens and other colours. I'll put a little picture up of how it looked in the hank when I wound it after I'd dyed it. And I'm just keeping this project in my yarn bowl. And if I go out, I just put the yarn in my handbag because it's so easy to cart about. And I invested in some 40cm circular needles. I started off Magic Loop whilst they were arriving, and then I moved it yesterday onto the circular needles. And there's 10cm of rib, which at the moment is seeming a little bit endless. But this is how the rib is looking. I hope that the light is not too bad and that's coming up. It's a very rich colour. All the colours are very warm and very rich. I hope that's what's coming up. And it's so much fun to work on. Honestly, even I don't even mind the rib that much, although I'm looking forward to the stockinette stitch. And my stitch marker that I'm using to mark the round is one that I got in one of the Little French Meadow mini skein clubs. I cast this on the 9th of December for Kelly Lay's Happiness Day. She decided that it was going to be a day of happiness because I think the 9th of December last year was a bit difficult for her and her family. So they're marking the day by doing nothing but happy things, and one of those things was to cast on happy projects, and that really is very zen-like. Living in my yarn bar. Really enjoying that. I'm doing that on 3mm needles, by the way. So that's my other work in progress. I frogged something. Living in my Hannah bag, so called because I copied Hannah from Sheep's Alley podcast, my little Hannah bag. I've decided I'm going to line this bag because I do like using it as a project bag, but your needles do poke out. So I am going to line it. And inside here was my So Faded sweater, which I'd bought more yarn for, if you watched my last episode. And I had to go back and mend a mistake and it all went horribly wrong. So I just frogged the whole thing and figured I'm just going to start anew in the new year. So my goal this year of knitting a sweater has not come to fruition, and it's being carried forward to 2018. But I did crochet a sweater and it was fabulous. So I think we're all right. I'm also keeping in here my tea and other little bits and bobs that have been in my advent calendar from Lilli. And what's this? Oh, this is the latest Little French Meadow mini skein club. All is calm, all is bright. And that's got some minis in there, so I'll show you that in the incoming section. So I frogged my So Faded sweater. So now I've got all neatly balled up my faded colours. These are all by Third Volt yarns. This top one is Mazikeen, the original skein I bought. This one here is Mazikeen, but in a different dye lot, which makes it a rich colour. And this one at the bottom, I can't remember what it was called, but it was in her sale basket at Festival. So that is a frogged work in progress, about to become a work in progress again. I've also got my Strictly socks, which you got a glimpse of earlier. I'm woefully behind on my Strictly socks. I have turned the heels on both of them. There you go, proof. And I've been working up the leg of this first one in the hope that I can get to the cuffs, and I can just do the cuffs during the final over this coming weekend. And I haven't got, I can't quite reach, I've got a pair of socks over there I was wearing earlier. I do like my socks quite short in the leg because I wear skinny jeans. I like to wear them underneath and with my boots, and it is more comfortable if they're a bit shorter in the leg. But I've got a way to go yet, so I need to put some work in on these. But I might do that this evening. But I'm a little bit addicted to making the sock head hat. Yeah. So, oh, the pattern I'm using, sorry, I just put that back in. So the pattern I'm using for my Strictly socks, I'm knitting these concurrently on 25cm short circulars. And the yarn is called Salsa, and this is also by KAL I. This episode is not sponsored by KAL I, by the way. Lay Family Yarns. It just happens that her lovely yarn has come up a lot in this episode, and so it should, because it is beautiful. So this is her Salsa colourway, which is a beautiful yellow, which is my favourite colour. If you've watched my podcast before, you follow me on Instagram, you'll know my favourite colour is yellow. and I did a Fish Lips Kiss Heel, which I really like. And the pattern that you can see running along the top of the foot there is a pattern by Cozy Cute Knits, who's Naomi, and it's called the Spellbound Socks pattern. And it's really nice. I'm really liking how it's working up. And I'm hoping these socks are going to fit me quite well, because I've been at some of my earlier socks I find are a bit too loose. And my favourite pair of socks are my watermelon socks that I made in the summer. And I made those on 2mm needles. Now I'm using 2.25 for these ones, but I'm doing less stitches and I'm doing the same Fish Lips Kiss Heel. So I'm hoping, excuse me, hoping that will make them fit. And that's living in my Eldenwood craft bag, which I won in a knit along, and I love it so much. And it's not my final, let's face it, work in progress, but the one I'm going to show you is I finished my first taku wool mitten. So me and Hannah of Hannah from Sheep's Alley podcast did a little swap a couple of months ago, and in it she put some taku wool and she kept half of the skeins and gave me the other half. So there was 4 colours, and we both agreed to make mittens, and I have made my pattern up, which is quite impressive because I'm not a confident knitter. Well, I'm impressed with myself. So this is my first mitten. Now the colours are quite dark, and it's quite dark in here. So I very much hope that the colours are coming out on the camera. I can't see. If they don't, I'll pop a picture in so you can have a better idea. So all I did was a broken rib pattern as I remembered a broken rib pattern to be. So I'm knitting one round and then knit one, purl one on the next round, and so on and so on. And I'm using the weaving in the ends method that I used when I did my striped mittens according to Badagag. And I used that pattern as a guide for, the way I did that pattern, I used as a guide for how I did these mitts as well, and as a guide for how I did the thumb. But everything else I've just made up as I go along. And I'm really pleased with them. And the second one is at this stage. And I was really hoping the other night to make a move on these and finish it. But yeah, then the sock head happened. And I'm just trying to not put too much pressure on myself. Feeling like I've been feeling, I'm just trying to let myself do the things I enjoy. It's only knitting. It's only crochet and knitting. It's not going to be the end of the world if I don't make my own self-imposed deadlines, is it? I'm not going to be taking part in any KALs in 2018, I've decided. Sorry if I'm flashing you my bra. Bit racy. Yeah, I'm not going to take part in any KALs in 2018. I'm going to have a KAL-free year, but I'll talk more about that in my next episode. And that's living in my little bag that was in with my advent calendar from Lilli. She called it her own version of a dodgy bag, except it's not dodgy whatsoever, it's beautiful. And it's really Christmassy! I love it! So I'd quite like to use this little bag for my Christmas Eve cast on, which I'll talk about in a minute. Well, I can talk about it now. So I really need to make the mitts so that I can use the bag. And I'm going to be casting on for Christmas Eve. Can you guess who the yarn dyer might be of the yarn that I'm going to be casting on Christmas Eve? It's Lay Family Yarns again. And I'm going to be casting on her Oh Christmas Tree sock set, which I bought. Look at that. It's just beautiful. These colours, I find, just make me feel nostalgic and Christmassy and lovely. So I'm really very much looking forward to getting those on the needles, but I need to get other things off the needles first. So I think I think that's all my works in progress that I'm going to show you. Should we move on to finished objects? I've got a couple of finished bags, more dodgy bags, which I'm going to show you. Just going to adjust position a bit. Oh, too old to sit on the floor. Hopefully you can still see me. Stop saying and so. My first finished object. Can you hear her? Here she comes. Prepare yourself. Now, she's been out and about a bit, so she's not as pristine as she was when she was first presented to Phoebe for her 7th birthday. This is Anita, the cow. She is a pattern from Zumigurumi 6, which was a book I was sent earlier in the year to review. And I intend to make just about everything from that book, but this is the first thing I've made. And I made it in the correct weight yarn for the pattern, which means it's really dinky. And Phoebe wants another one in bigger, so I will do another one in Aran weight yarn. I did make another cow for her last year using Aran weight yarn from another Zumigurumi book. And it came out sort of 3 times the size, but it was equally as cute. But, you know, let's just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this little cow has got udders. There was quite a lot of love for the udders on Instagram. And then I think everyone got carried away with how funny the word udders is. The patches that she's got on her, the little cow patches, are supposed to be made with felt and sewed on, but I actually just crocheted some random patches because it didn't feel right to... Felt can go a bit pilly over time, and I wanted to use the cotton yarn, so I just crocheted some random shapes and sewed them on. And the bell is from, I think, reindeer, Lindor reindeer, whatever it is they do at Christmas last year. So yeah, that's Anita the cow. Look at her little tail. Yee. So she's living in Phoebe's room now. And speaking of Phoebe, I have also finished her odd socks. So these just need blocking, which is quite difficult to do when I live with her and she goes everywhere. It's quite difficult to get these blocked. I can't put them on sock blockers because they're so small. So I'm going to try and flatten them out a bit. So these have not been blocked, but my daughter Phoebe, who's 7, only wears odd socks. She won't wear socks that match. And she was complaining that her socks that I knit her in the year are getting a bit small. So I've kind of winged it a bit and knit her some larger ones, which I really hope are going to fit. But I think if she finds it a bit snug up here to get over her feet, I'll just take the cuff off and just increase a bit. I don't know if that would work. Anyway, they're odd socks, so they've both got the same purple yarn, and then they've got different coloured toes, different coloured heels, and different coloured cuffs, but they kind of coordinate at the same time. So those are Phoebe's odd socks, all finished and ready for Christmas Eve, for her Christmas Eve box. Speaking of which, I've got another work in progress which I've left in the kitchen. So I'm going to go and get that. 1 second, I'm just going to pop this back in. So this I started on a bit of a whim actually, because I was watching the Bakery Bears latest podcast and Kay had this chunky pair of socks which she'd made as a gift, but I think she'd made them as a part of the process of making sock knitting tutorials on their channel. So I'd already signed up to become a patron because I really wanted to read the Knitability magazine, which by the way I did read, and I'm in it. I'm not featured, but my name is in it because lovely Lou, who is Foxy Yarn, had written an article about festival, and she mentioned Sandra and Sam, of course, and all of the lovely people, but she mentioned me as well. So my first, I was just, yeah, don't know what to say. I was a bit blown away by that, and I don't quite know what to make of it. I was like, I'm in the Knitability, and I'm only just rambling. Stop talking now. So anyway, she had talked about these socks on the podcast, but the video for making the socks was only available to silver patrons. So I upped my membership in order to get this videos, and I've fallen into a bit of a Bakery Bears rabbit hole really, because I don't know why. I'm a bit addicted to watching all their little videos. They're so funny. They're just so, you know, my girls always like watching them as well, which is really nice. I digress. Anyway, so I've got the videos for the Snowfall socks, which are made with chunky yarn, and I'm going to make some for Lilia for her Christmas Eve box, because really I don't have any more time to make her an entire pair of socks, but these are made with extra chunky yarn. And I had this Shetland mist that I picked up on my birthday in a charity shop. So I've got it in cream and I've got it in grey. It's Shetland Mist Chunky. I'm not even sure you can get it anymore. And it's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Very soft and squidgy. And I'm using the grey one and I ordered some chunky needles, 5.5mm needles, and I'm making the chunky snowfall socks, which have got like a little snowfall pattern going around them. So these are they, and you can see that I'm doing top down for once. I normally do toe up, so I'm doing top down according to the video. And this whole bit of sock, I'm down now to, I'm just about to finish the decreases for the gusset and start on the foot, has taken me in total maybe 2 hours. Not bad, not bad. And I've learnt a few things as well. I've learnt a few tips and tricks, and I might, for my next pair of socks that I cast on, I may even give it a go top down again. We shall see. So these are hopefully going to become a pair of socks in time for Christmas Eve. So that is my other little last minute work in progress. So last minute that it's living in a freezer bag for Mazda. Haven't even found a bag. Anyway, that was a little interruption for an extra whip instead of an FO. Yes, so a couple of bags that I finished making. So I've been making some dodgy bags because I'm going to be making more as well, because I've got a few people that I want to send bags to as a thank you, which will probably be in the new year now. I'm not going to get a lot of sewing done. It takes me forever to make bags. Honestly, the techniques that I use are ridiculous, and I'm so slow. So this one is for me. I'm keeping it. I've had it for a little while, and I managed to stain the lining with the iron, and it's kind of grown on me. So I've added the drawstrings, and I got this little watermelon thing in the sale at Sainsbury's, and yeah, that's my little dodgy bag of my own. This is my favourite of my dodgy bags. I like doing drawstrings better than I like doing zips, and I like this size. This is my, I think I call this my medium sock size bag, and it's just a really handy size. You can fit a small project in there, or socks. So that is going to be for me. Throw it over there. And this is my other dodgy bag that I made. This is quite dodgy, which is why I didn't put it in as the prize. This is interfaced with like batting, like really thick batting, which makes it really, really poofy and stand up like that, which I love. I made another bag like this, but I really missed the join on the bottom. That's really off, and there's a bit here where I didn't quite catch the fabric when I was sewing it, so I'm gonna have to go back in and sort that out. So, but it will, once I've sorted that out, I will sort of give this to someone, because I do actually want to keep this one because I love the colours and I do love its squidginess, really do. But it will be a gift. So that's my other finished thing. Right, let's have a quick check on my notes from last episode to see if that might give away if there's anything I'm missing. Hang on one moment, please. Right, so I think that's it. I think we can move on to incoming stuff. It's 5 to 1. It's an early finishing day for my eldest daughter, so she'll be home in about an hour and a half. So let's crack on, and I might even get some editing done. I have got 3 lots of mini clubs to show you from Little French Meadow, because I haven't shown you any of them. So I'm going to go in order. I have got October, November and December. So October was called The Changing of the Seasons, and the 2 yarns were called Autumn Leaves and Naked Trees. Oh. Alison and Yola are the dyers behind Little French Meadow. I'll put their Instagram names up on the screen. And they're so clever. And I found out recently that they only met like 5 years ago, or less than that. Or, you know, like I thought they'd been friends like their whole life or something. And they are so lovely, such lovely human beings. And actually, I must say as well, Yola has really reached out to me because I put on Instagram that I was struggling a bit. And yeah, I just so appreciate the fact that I've got to know them because of yarn. Isn't that ridiculous? You just meet these lovely people. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that because I will get emotional and look like an idiot. You get my point. So this is Autumn Leaves and Naked Trees, which I really hope is coming out on the screen because it's so dark now. I am right in front of the window, so hopefully. So that's beautiful. And they always send a stitch marker. That one I believe was a leaf, which is already in my stitch marker tin, which is upstairs. So I won't go and get that. So that's beautiful. And then this is November. This was Looney Tunes, and they're called I Taught a Putty Cat and Beep Beep. So I'm assuming Roadrunner and Tweety Bird. So do I have the stitch markers? I might have taken the stitch marker out the thing. I think I did. I think that's already in my tin as well. These are so vibrant. Oh, I love these. This one, really, really vibrant, and I really hope it's coming out as vibrant as it is. Very, very happy colours. So that was November. And then December was named after my favourite carol, Silent Night. And so it's called Silent Night, and the two yarns are All is Calm, All is Bright. Now, if I need some more minis to go in my Advent shawl, these two are definitely going in. These make me very, very happy indeed. And the little stitch marker, there was a, I say this every time, there was a chocolate that came with this one, but I must have put it down somewhere. Don't know where it is. It must be next to the bowl of fruit that I was probably eating instead of eating the chocolate. Little star stitch marker. Oh my goodness, it's now got really dark. Shall I turn the light on, or will that just make it worse? I'm just going to check and see how the lighting is, and see if I need to turn the light on. Okay, we have some overhead lighting now, so hopefully that's not going to turn everything a bit yellow. Let's press on. I also ordered, when I saw on Instagram and when I was at festival, that Hailstone Heritage, where Sheldon, in my last episode, bought his stitch markers, had to buy some William Morris print fabric. And we had curtains and a sofa in this print. And I've been looking for this fabric in this particular colour, because there was a few different colours that they did back in the 70s. I managed to find it in the green colour, but never the sort of golden brown. So I bought 2 meters of this from Hailstone Heritage, and it's so precious. I'm so happy with this. This is the print. You might remember back in my June vlogs that I talked about the rectangle of the green version of this that I managed to get, but this is the brown version, and I'm going to make cushions for myself, and you can see how nice that's going to look there on my grey sofa, and it's going to make me feel very happy thinking of, you know, those days when I was little. Yeah, so, and that is a William Morris print, and it was, you know, Arthur Sanderson, that was it. Arthur Sanderson was the company that made the actual fabric. And I believe the William Morris print was called Golden Lilies or something. So, yeah, I'm just so, I can't even tell you, so pleased to have found that. So I need to get sewing of those things. Right, where are we going to chuck that? What's there? I was also very lucky. After festival, I'd admired Lou, who's Foxy Yarn. She had a bag with her, a crochet bag, and I had admired it. And she contacted me afterwards and said, oh, I'll send you some handles so that you can make a bag for yourself. And I think she sent me the link as well to the pattern. So I gave her my address to send me the handles, which she did. So I'm looking forward to making a lovely crochet bag in the new year. But naughty, she didn't just send me that. She sent me yarn as well. And not just one skein of yarn. She sent me 4. And one of them, it's all precious, but one of them is ridiculously precious. So Lou, thank you. I feel very undeserving of this parcel and incredibly grateful. Thank you very, very much. She sent me 2 skeins of Hot Socks print yarn, and I love this colour. So this is just good old sturdy, lovely sock yarn, and I love this kind of yarn, and I love the colours of this. So I can't wait to get those balled up and transformed into socks. It is 75% virgin wool, 25% polyamide. That's what I say. Polyamide. Yeah, so enough of those to make probably 2 pairs of socks the way that I think for me. She also sent me this gorgeous yarn, Flea Bubs by Lala, who's on Etsy. She does crochet hooks, if I'm thinking correctly. And this is a 4-ply merino nylon called Smarties. Both my girls are fighting over who's going to get something made out of this. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to come up with something for each of them. Look at that! So she sent me that. And you're all going to be like, she sent you what? She sent you what? This is incredible. So this is 75% superwash ultra fine merino and 25% silk in the colourway Chatsworth Gold, and it is a Bakery Bears yarn. So this is dyed by Kay of Bakery Bears. So for someone who has fallen down a Bakery Bears rabbit hole of late and loves yellow, look, you can see I can't even hold it because it's so floppy and drapey. It's just so gorgeous. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, just, I mean, and your skin doesn't react to it at all. It is just so soft and snuggly. Such a special skein of yarn. Lou, thank you. I could just sit here all day saying thank you to you because, and again, I've still got it in the box that it all came in. I've talked about this before, so I can keep pretending I just got it. So I guess now I've shown it to you guys, I might have to think about what I'm going to do with it. Another thing I've got for 2018 is no yarn. I have got a small collection now of hand-dyed yarn, but I don't want to just have boxes and boxes and shelves of hand-dyed yarn doing nothing. It's always nice to have a little in stash, but that makes me a bit nervous to have so much. Makes me feel a bit gluttonous. I've also got quite a lot of acrylic yarn that needs using. So no more yarn until I've used at least 50% of what I've got. We may go to Unravel in February, so I may just be completely lying about no more yarn. But we will see. But I will talk more about that in my New Year episode. And, right, what else have I got? Oh, it was our wedding anniversary. Hang on a minute, I feel a bit sneezy. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was our 14-year wedding anniversary. You see me thinking about that for a moment now. Yeah, 14 years. At the end of November, on the 29th of November. And my husband has been notoriously rubbish at buying presents over the years. Sometimes he knocks it out the park. A lot of the times he doesn't. But he paid attention to one of my hints, and I got quite a big surprise on our anniversary when I opened up this. Caroline, who is Caroline Love to Sew on Instagram and Love to Sew on Etsy. That is right, isn't it? Yes. Oh, Love to Sew UK on Etsy and Caroline Love to Sew on Instagram. Makes these gorgeous bags. And she has just started a podcast and she is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. You have to go and watch it. It's called, I think on YouTube, it's called Caroline Love to Sew, but I will put it up on the screen now so you can finish watching this first and then you can run off and watch her podcast. She crochet. Do you crochet? Yes, I think you crochet. She sews beautiful things, and she's knitting as well. And she's just lovely. Honestly, go and watch her podcast. And this is made with Tilda fabrics, I believe. And this part and the drawstring casing is like velvet. So whenever you have this bag, you just have to stroke it because it's velvet. And inside it's lined with a plain white, and it's got her Love to Sew stamp on there. I don't know if you can see that. And it's gorgeous. As Craig would say, it is gorgeous. And this is what it looks like. I mean, that's quite hefty. You're going to fit quite a lot in there. A jumper, I would say, or a large shawl, or like 5 pairs of socks. Because we all have to have lots of socks cast on. So very lucky girl. Thank you, hubby. Not that you ever watch this podcast. but thank you. And then we had an early Christmas with my husband's mum. She came down and we exchanged some gifts, and she gave me some crochet books, which I hadn't asked for. Didn't ask for at all. But absolutely have seen in magazines and things like that and thought, oh, I'd love that. And I probably turned the corner down on the pages and everything. Don't know how she worked out that I would love these so much. But first of all, she's got me Edward's Menagerie. So I have got her other book, which is there's a flip book of monsters, which I think is called Imaginarium, I think. Can't remember. So now I've got Edward's Menagerie, and they've got these glorious little animals in there to make. And I really want to make, I think I saw Jules, who is so sweet violet, make the aardvark. No, she kept it's an anteater. I think it's an anteater, and she kept calling it an aardvark, or maybe it was an aardvark, and she kept, anyway, it was so cute. So I'd really like to make that, the little whatever it is, aardvark or anteater. So I'm very lucky to receive that. And I also got this. It's another in the series of by the same publisher of Zumigurumi, Amigurumi Monsters. Look at the little monsters sticking out on the back. Oh, I just love it. So I'm going to be making some monsters. I really like. Where's the one I really liked? If I can find it quickly, I'll show you. Where are you? Oh look, this one's me. Tired and with children. Help me! Pass me the Prosecco. Sorry if you can hear my stomach rumbling. I haven't eaten today yet. Oh, here it is. It reminds me of Monsters Inc. It's a little girl in her monster outfit. So I think that might have to be first on my list to make. So yeah, very happy with that. I feel like I'm missing something, like possibly an incoming object or something. But, oh well. If I've missed it, I will talk about it next time. Oh, by the way, this is my basket. I brought it now. This is my basket of mittens. So I have been joining in with the year-long KAL, and I've been terrible at it, which is the Basket of Mittens KAL, which is being run by Carrie, who is... She's changed her Instagram name. Pretty sure she's still My Wool Mitten on Instagram. And also the Tiffany of the Woolen Homestead. And it's a year-long KAL for making mittens. I've got, as well as not mittens in here, because I've got random bits of yarn. I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 pairs of mittens in here, 1 pair of mittens on the needle, and another pair of mittens that are in use. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this year, I've made 6. So unless I make another pair between now and New Year's Eve, I will have made 1 for every 2 months. See, I'm not very good at this, am I? And I also won the most gorgeous yarn right at the beginning of this KAL from Carrie, who owns a farm, Serenity Farms, and makes yarn from the sheep. And I still haven't used that. And I really want to, so I need to find a project for that. That's what I mean. If the longer I have it, it's going to start languishing, and it's too beautiful to languish in a box. It needs to be used. So that's my basket of mittens. Lots of nitty plans, lots of things I'm looking forward to, but I'm going to talk about a lot of those sort of plans and things coming up in my next episode. I will try and do something before the end of the year. It might just be a vlog. Otherwise, I will be back in the new year. With a New Year episode talking about all of my plans for 2018. So hopefully I will see you between now and then, but either way, please have yourself a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. I hope Santa brings you everything that you've asked for, and I hope you have a lovely, peaceful time. And I think something happened last year that we might do again. And that is to say, remember, it's still magic, even if you know how it's done.